Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode. Today we have lots of good news. So first of all, we got a brand new windshield installed today. Brand new. They came and put it in, didn't take too long. He also helped me. Latch the hood. He also helped me put in the cowl, which he missed a little bit, so we'll finish that up. And we also got the interior trim pieces in. All that's missing is the screw and the cap for the screw. So what do we have left on this? We got the screws and the caps for the interior, and we've got the door panel. Then interior is complete, finished. Exterior, what are we gonna do? Exterior, we're gonna sand this hood, and I want to re-clear it. And based on what we get out of the sanding, I may grab another or some paint matched paint, and we'll do a one coat, one or maybe a coat and a half. Well, one or two coats on the red, depending on how far we have to sand. Down in here, it might need a little bit of persuasion, but other than that, that's it on the hood. We need to work on our fender gaps, which is not a big deal. We'll get that straightened out. And then we've got our wipers, our windshield trim, and of course the front emblem, which we're going to take care of today. What else do we got here? We've got a package that we're going to be opening here momentarily. You all should know what it is by now. Let's slide this over here, and we'll open it right here. I can't find my razor blade. Here we go. So the idea is that I want to get the Volkswagen 99% done. I'd like to get everything done except for the door panel this week, because we really need to get the F-150 into the garage, and we really need to start working on that, because it's going to be leaving soon, in a couple of weeks, so we need to get working on that and make sure that everything is good to go on that. So yeah, with that being said, let's dig into this. It's time to throw out this razor blade. She's not very sharp. Packaging here. That's what I like to see. Seems like a quality piece too. So what's in this package? It's all of our bumper trim, or our bumper grill pieces. So we are gonna, basically what we want to do tonight is I'd like to get that front bumper all assembled to the car. And we've got two other grill pieces here, so we're going to take those out, get them assembled to the car, and then I want to get that, like I said, the bumper assembled onto the car completely, so that way we can get that front grill piece on as well. Here's the other side, and then of course we've got our middle piece. position. I don't see any issues with these parts. Nothing's broken, everything looks good. It's beautiful. So we'll get that bumper pulled off of there. And then here we will so we'll get this bumper pulled off. From there we'll get our plastic trim out. We'll get that trim in. Then we'll get this bumper put back on. And then we'll start actually fastening some of this stuff down so that we can get it kind of in its final position. Alright guys, so I did take a break to go eat some dinner, and now my lighting is absolute crap, but we are hopefully this weekend fixing that problem. So I'd really like to get a lot of the stuff done on this guy this weekend, and then Saturday morning, or Saturday at some point, my plan is to put, there's 4 lights in here, to put them up in here. So I'd like, currently I have 2 lights that run long ways. I want to put 2 up front, and then I want to run 2 long ways here as well. That should give me better all around lighting in here, so like when I'm back here you don't get your dead spot, you get actual lighting over here, and the same thing in the front. So that's my thoughts. If I need to get some more lights, I can do that, but my plan is to wire in, because these are plug-in. Plan is to this weekend wire in some outlets up in the ceiling, similar to what we've got here for the garage door opener. But that's my plan. We'll get some better lighting, and we will be able to do more of this bumper stuff, or do more of this car stuff in the dark. What else? Let's get this big box out of the way. Not too shabby. A little bit of plastic dip, came out really nice on that. So we'll get that put back together. Let's get some of this picked up. I'll get the bumper back here. We'll get a little bit better lighting for you. Alright, so now that we're set up, as you saw before, we got the middle grill all in. Everything's looking good. Next, we're going to move on to our 2 side little grill inlets. Let's get those put in, and then I'm going to move to putting the front grill section back together, so that everything is put back together, and then we're going to once again put it on the front end. Might save that for tomorrow because I don't have very good lighting up there, so I might save that for tomorrow. Leave the bumper and stuff out, and then we'll do that as soon as we get home tomorrow. So let's get this put together. We'll get that the grill put together, and then we may have to call it a night because of our poor lighting situation. pretty disappointed in these parts here. They aren't even close. Like, these don't even come close to lining up, these little tabs. Like, this one's got a clip here in the back, where this one does not have one here. Like, it's just bad. So I guess I'm gonna repackage them up and send them back because they're garbage. They don't fit. So let's get this put back together because I know this will fit. And hopefully we can find these plastics in the junkyard. Could probably use this one. I think the middle one is broken. So I need the middle one and the left side because this is the right side. Usually it's labeled somewhere. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, definitely the right side. So I've got the right side. We can put that one back in. Just need to get the left side, repackage this shit, bring it back. And that's disappointing. Really, really disappointed. So anything that I can over this weekend, especially if I can't find the parts I need. So let's get this stuff situated here. So I'm just going to snap these together. All our clips lined up, and just like that, it's all back together. That's looking much, much better. I like that a lot. Everything's in there. All my clips, all my gaps look good. Beautiful. That's what I'm gonna do. Slap it simply. Man, I love OEM parts. God, I do. Beautiful. And there we go. That will sit right here like this. Sorry guys for the camera here. Not perfectly set up the way it's going to be, but looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's see this weekend if I can't find some bumper parts, and then I will. Actually, I'm going to go look now to see if I can't find anything that I can get here by Friday. And then if that's, or Saturday, and then if I can't find anything, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Gonna have to wait on the front bumper or something, so that's a bummer. But we still have all the rest of this to do, so that's gonna do it for tonight, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, welcome back to day 2. Today we got a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of stuff to button up, and I fully intend on getting 90% of it done. The only thing we won't be able to get done is of course this front bumper and the grill piece, because that comes after the bumper. So just some things off the top of my head that we're going to be doing today. Finishing the interior. We're going to finish putting the cowling on. The wipers are going back on. I want to put these strips back in. I want to button all of that up. Next, we're going to do an oil change on this bad girl. And then after that, we're going to slap the battery into it. Battery. We're going to put that in it. What else? I've got a list of things on my phone that I want to get done. I want to get this grill piece out because the 3 pieces came as a single shipped item, I guess. So I'm going to be returning all those because I'm not paying for parts that don't fit. I have ordered new ones, so hopefully those fit. Though the new ones I ordered said specifically for the rabbits, whereas these said Golf Mark 5. So maybe I'm hoping that these are the actual correct parts for this particular bumper. So those should be in, I don't know, a couple days, so we won't be able to do that. So basically, the only thing I want to have left after today is to finish this bumper, have the door panel left, and then finally have our hood prep left. So this weekend my plan is to knock out this hood prep, and I'd love to get it painted on Sunday, or re-cleared on Sunday. Whether or not we get to it, I don't know. The other thing I want to do today is I want to take, and this will be the last thing, I want to take, what did I do with them? Those lights, that's right. I want to take the lights and I want to hang them where they're going to be, so I can kind of see where my wiring and stuff needs to be up on the ceiling. And then maybe after all of that, see if I can't get into my crawl space. But whether or not I film that, I'm not sure. But I probably will film putting the outlets into the ceiling, just because it's for the shop, it's for the garage, it's gonna help the channel out, give us more lighting in here. So I'll probably video that, or some of it, maybe not all of it, I don't know. We'll see when that part comes. But yeah, I want to have all those parts packaged up, grill pieces, and reboxed, so tomorrow I can print the label, ship that thing back tomorrow. So we got a lot to do, so let's get to it. I'm going to start with the interior and go from there. So that is the interior complete. All we had to do, because we took out the uppers, took out the upper A-pillars here, right here. All we had to do was we took off the end cap, and then this part goes in first, then the end cap goes back on. It's just a couple clips, no screws. We did the same thing on both sides. One thing I did do, I'm not sure if I can't remember if I videoed it or not, is I put the floor mats. I cleaned those and put those in all the way around Actually, I think I put the dryer in the back because there was stuff on the floor, but we'll get to that. Next thing I want to tackle is buttoning up here. Like I said, I only had to leave these on for a half hour, but I wasn't going anywhere, so I left them on a little longer. But so where are we going to start? First, we got to get the cowl in. Couldn't get that in, or he couldn't get that in yesterday. So I'm going to get the cowling in, and then we're going to put the wipers on, torque those down, and then we're going to move on to these guys up here. We got everything over here to do so, wipers, and then as you can see from that one, all my fasteners for my wipers I put right back on there with the cap. So everything should be there. So let's get this cowl on here.
My way to the stars, want to fly, fly with you, babe. We're going to reach the sky, feel the vibes. Let's start a party.
So there we go. Our wipers are all installed. We got all of our trim back in. Everything here is good to go. So that brings me to my next. I've had this cardboard under here for 2 days. I know it's jacked up, but we are going to change the oil anyway because I haven't seen any drips in the last couple days. With that being said, that does not mean that it doesn't still leak. I'm under the impression to this point though that my leak is right there. I have a little bit, but I'm not entirely sure where said leak is coming from. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna change the oil, let it run for a few minutes, let it get up to temperature, and maybe we can see if this thing has a really bad leak. Maybe it's just because it's been sitting and some of the seals just need to be lubricated. I don't know. But my assumption is if we get this up to temperature, we'll have a better idea of where exactly it is it's leaking, so we can address that. So let's change the oil. Let's get the oil drained. Got a filter. Perfect, nice and easy. Get our oil drained from our drain pan here. We'll get new oil put in it. So let's get to it. That's next on the list. Alright guys, we're about to see just how dirty this oil is. Keep a little pressure until you know you're all the way out on your threads, so you avoid making a bigger mess than you need to. That is some black oil right there. So she was well due for an oil change. So all looks pretty clean though for the most part. No water in it. No, I don't see any metal flake or anything. So yeah, should be good. Don't know why we're filling up with. Should be draining into there. Let's wait for this to drain. We'll change the filter in the meantime, and then we'll get back to you guys on that. Alright guys, so as we've shown in previous ones, we're going to do our comparison again. Obviously this is the new one and this is the old one. This thing was so overdue for an oil change. Whew. that's rough. So one important thing, we got to make sure we change our seal. It's way down in there. You might be able to see the reflection off of it right there. It's down in there. We got to change that first so we don't forget. We got 2 of them apparently. I don't think there's 2 in here. Must have just sent an extra one. But also, I want to know, whoever put this on previously should give up on being a mechanic. This filter cap, or filter housing, was on so tight that I had to put my filter wrench around the filter, my channel locks around the handle so that I could get enough pressure on it to grip the filter, and then I had to hit the arm of the filter wrench just to break it loose. That is way too freaking tight. Way too freaking tight. That's absolutely ridiculous. So whoever did that, give up on being a mechanic. It's not your forte. You have no idea what you're doing. Should never be that tight. And on top of that, the drain plug was cross-threaded, so clearly whoever did it put it in with some power tool. God, incompetence is frustrating. So whoever you are out there that did work on this rabbit, just stop. Alright guys, that's one more thing crossed off our list. The only thing we got left to do is let it run, warm up, and top off the oil, because I filled it to the, I normally, what I do is a little bit more than 4 quarts. That's my kind of general rule of thumb. And then get it down on the ground, let it run for a few minutes, and if it needs to be topped up, top it up. Generally I like to get it to at least the minimum on the ground before I start it, and then once it's running, if I see that it's low, I will add a little bit on there. So that's what we'll do. Let's see, what else do we need to get done? I think I was going to put this part on, this little intake, but I do see that it is broken. One of the tabs over here is broken, and I'm missing the cover. There's a little lid that goes over there, so I'm missing that. So we're going to look at the junkyard. Must have got thrown out with all the broken pieces, because I don't know. But yeah, we're going to do that. So that's it for that. We'll throw the battery in. I guess we don't really need to do that now. But I think that's about it for that. So let's see. I'm going to check my list and see what we got next. Oh yeah, my oil filter did come with 2. So it must just be a universal 2 different types of seals based on what kind of filter housing you have. The one that we had a little pull tab on it. It was super easy to take out and replace. So yeah, we're not going to be needing this one. I was looking at these fender gaps to the hood, and it looks like if you look right on this, there's this little mounting tab right here. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it, but the flange section that connects the mounting point to the fender is a little bit, on this side it's basically straight up and down, but if you look over on this side, it's kind of at an angle, bent out just a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to loosen this one and probably this one and see if I can't get this a little bit straighter, because when I close the hood, this fender gap looks pretty good to me, and this one looks large, so that tells me that this is a little bit out. So I'm going to try getting this a little bit straighter. So straighter should pull this bottom section of my fender in, because I think, based on what I can see, we should be pretty good on everywhere else. Those are pretty close. Look at these. That one's pretty close. I tried to line those up where the last one was, but so I'm gonna fiddle with this for a little bit and see if I can't get this fender in a little bit and not on our headlight, so that we can get this thing kind of straightened up and get our lines and gaps good.
My way to the stars, want to fly, fly with you, babe.
I got this pretty well straightened up, to be honest, but I still am not really a big fan of this gap right here. So it's a little bit high in the back. It's a big gap up here, smaller gap here, and over here it looks like a bigger gap in the front, but for the most part it's pretty consistent and it's tight to the back. So my problem is I'm big gap on both front edges, small gap on both back edges. So I'm going to see so the next thing I was looking at is where this fender is, and it's really pushed out compared to the headlight. And then now I'm looking at this one, and this one is nice and flush with the headlight on this edge here. But if we come back over here, you can see that it protrudes out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to shift the hood like this, so not necessarily move that one, but move this one over here, and see if I can't get it to shift just a little bit. I may, and you can also see here on our latch that we are a little bit too far to the right, so I'm going to see if I can't adjust this back hinge back here to see if we can't get a little bit of that rotation and then adjust this fender to fit it. So that seems like my next plan of attack here. I'd like to get a good fit before I think I'm going to take this hood back off and prep this surface for clear. So I think it's going to be easier to do off the car and on one of my racks. So I'm going to end up doing that. We'll get it cleaned up, and that should be that. So let's get adjusting some of this stuff and see if we can't get it a little straighter.
We're going to reach the sky, feel the vibes. Let's start a party.
Hadn't restarted it, I guess is the better way to put it. So basically what we did, instead of moving this side forward and rotating it this way, we moved this side rearward and rotated it, and that really closed this gap up pretty nicely. That worked out really well. So now we have nearly matching identical gaps left and right. So I am really pretty happy with that. I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. Okay, I'll be right in. Yeah, so all we got to do is a little bit of adjustment. Let's get this hood higher than or equal to the fender, and then not sure what I'm going to do about this. Probably just leave it, to be honest. But we'll at least get this flushness right. And this flushness right will lift that front end up, and then the front end should be good. I would consider that hood aligned. The only thing we have left left to do today is to get that bumper piece removed, and I'll repackage all of the pieces, throw it in that box, and then put it in the truck, and then that will be a wrap for this one.